And then after I did about a month or two of treatment, um, they wanted me to do another month, I think, or two. And I said, no, I couldn't do it. And then I told my lawyer, just send them whatever you have. At this point, I can't keep going with the case because I have things I have to do. And then just give me, whatever amount of money that you can. So I don't really try to go for the big bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I told my lawyer that, and then I feel like he just keep lying. The reason I'm saying this is because sometimes I'll call, he'll lie and tell the receptionist or the front desk lady that he's not here, so you don't have to talk to me. And then I keep telling her, I'm like, yo, the longer you wait, the longer I suffer. So could you please hurry up and settle the case? And then he's like, yeah, I sent the demand letter. And I call him probably like the 25th. I say, what was the first offer they sent? He say 7,000.
Mm-hmm.
But before I had the lawyer, the insurance offered me 7,000 before I even do any treatment and all that stuff. And then I said,
Right.
well, I can't take 7,000 if I gotta pay you and then I pay my medical bills. So he's like, yeah, that's why we're trying to get you more. And then I waited to today. I called him. I said, what was the offer? Because at this point, I'll take anything they send because I just can't wait anymore. And then he said the offer was $2,900. So I asked him, how does that make sense that the first offer was 7, but the second is 2,900? And he's like, oh, because you didn't keep getting treated. And I said, I couldn't, because if I had kept getting treated in New York, I was basically going to be homeless in New York because everything I had, I spent it to get treated for the first 2 months that I could have stayed.
Yeah. It's I'm sorry that, they weren't upfront with you, in the beginning. Or maybe they were and they just didn't communicate it effectively. But, New York is considered a no-fault state. And in New York, they have something called the threshold law, which means that you have to prove that your injury is serious enough to be able to get compensated from the driver who caused the accident. The reason why they probably try to throw $7,000 in your face in the beginning is because the insurance company was saying to themselves, okay, if we give him $7,000 now, then we only have to pay $7,000. But if we wait a year or 2 years, then his case may be worth $50,000 or $100,000. They were trying to evaluate their risk and say, let's just try to give him some quick money now. But because you didn't take that offer and then you move forward with medical treatment and you only had a month worth of medical treatment, it's hard to prove that you have a serious enough injury to meet that threshold law in New York. Now, the other side knows that. They see the case and they go, this guy only did a month worth of treatment. I don't think he's going to break the threshold law in New York. Let's just give him a low offer because I don't think that he has what it takes for this case to go the distance to get any more than that. My guess is that your attorney right now is just trying everything that he can to get some type of offer on the table to resolve this. But, all the cards are stacked against you and him in a case like this. I'm just being honest with you. That's the kind of the situation here. And the insurance company, they don't care that you were borderline homeless or anything like that. All they look at is if you were hurt, you'd find a way to get to the doctor, and if you don't, then we don't really need to consider, this case serious, and they just won't. Insurance companies are like the modern day mafia. They're all about making money and not giving money out. So if they see a case where they're like, this isn't that strong of a case, just give them a lowball offer, they don't have any cards on their side, it just makes it really difficult. That would be something you'd have to ask your lawyer about that.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Very much. I'm gonna call them and let them know. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah, this is an unfortunate situation. What we have here is someone that was injured in an accident and he didn't take his medical treatment seriously. I understand that life happens and things are going on in your life, and that's why you didn't pursue medical treatment seriously. But The insurance company doesn't care about those kind of things. You know, they look at the numbers on the case, the injuries on the case, the medical treatment on the case, the medical bills on the case. You know, that's what they're looking at, and they're going to value, you know, your case based upon those things, because everyone's got something going on. You know, my mom passed away, or I moved, or I lost my job, or, you know, I got hurt doing something else. Whatever the reason is, everyone's got stuff going on. So insurance companies, you know, they're kind of desensitized to these things, and you can't play the violin to them because they don't hear it. You know, because a lot of people play it. So to them, the violence is like a nails on the chalkboard now. They're just like, you know, here we go again, somebody else that has something going on. They're going to look at the case, the facts of the case, the treatment of the case, the bills of the case, and they're going to make a decision based on that. And then it's up to the lawyer to fight to the best of his ability. But if you as a client don't arm that lawyer with all the ammunition you can by doing what you're supposed to do on your case, it makes it very difficult for that lawyer to resolve the matter. So yeah, if you're watching this video and you're thinking about not taking your treatment serious, you know, this is a video for you, because these are the kind of things that happen. If you'd like a free case evaluation, feel free to reach out anytime, 832-925-2030. God bless you and have a good day.